Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com, here with a video inspired by a fan of mine, a fellow YouTuber, Amsterdam, XX Amsterdam XX. He did a video talking about cards he wants to see in Born of the Gods and cards he doesn't want to see in Born of the Gods. And I thought I'd make a video much like his. I'm actually doing a top 10 list, and I've got all the cards that we'll first start off with the cards that I don't want to see. Well, since I got the cards I want to see up, we'll start off with that. I think there is definitely something missing in this standard that is keeping me from really brewing the potential decks I'd like to brew. I mean, the decks in Standard now are pretty much straightforward. A lot of them are autopilot decks. There's not a lot of creativity because there's just set in stone, clear, good, bad cards. And again, not a lot of interactions, a lot of mono blue and mono black that you're just trying to flood the board with devotion and go from there. So here is 10 different subtype of cards I'd like to see that would help me personally with my brewing, some of the decks I've already brewed, and I think it would spice up Standard. So first of all, this first column, we'll start with number 10. Number 10, I want a good Heroic Enabler for black-blue. One of my favorite decks I've built so far for this Standard has been the black-blue Heroic with cards like Agent of the Fates and also Tormented Hero, and the draw card dude out of blue. And what it's really missing is a good Heroic Enabler. Blue has some decent cards like Hidden Strings and Mizium Skin, but black is just completely awful with the cards that it has that can trigger heroic. So a card that I would really like to see, a card like Cauldron Haze would be awesome if I could choose any number of target creatures and maybe regenerate those, or choose any number of target creatures and do XYZ. I don't know what it is. Get +1/+1 and Death Touch until end of turn, or Death Touch and regenerate until end of turn. Anything that could enable more than 2 would be awesome, because I could think of like 2 Tormented Heroes and Agent of Fates out would just be great with a card like this. So, or another card like Steel Strength would be awesome. Target creature gets +1/+1, and another creature gets -1/+1 until end of turn. That'd be perfect. I would absolutely love that card, as you could put it on your Tormented Hero, kill their blocker, their 1/1 blocker. Say if you're going against mono white, so your first turn your Tormented Hero, second turn you pump up your Tormented Hero, which actually ends up making a 3/2 and doing a damage, and you get to kill off their Dryad Militant or their Soldier of the Pantheon. That would be awesome. So Steel Strength. Then we have Virulent Swipe. I just think like a 2-for-1 card, a rebound card, or say target creature has +2/+0 and Death Touch in a turn, draw a card. That'd be awesome. So either rebound, draw a card, or whatnot. That Shadow Rift is kind of in the same category. Target creature gains Shadow or Unblockable or Intimidate, draw a card. Kind of a cantrip type ability to draw a card and trigger off the heroic would be awesome. And as far as enchantment, the best enchantment, black or blue, is not known for enchantments that are beneficial, but Sleeper's Robe would be awesome. Second turn, throwing a Sleeper's Robe on a Tormented Hero would be just dandy. So you'd actually trigger off that heroic, it would draw you a card when it dealt combat damage, and it would gain fear. Absolutely love a Sleeper's Robe. So a heroic, once again, a heroic blue-black enabler. Alright, so on to the next one. Selesnya. I would really like to give Selesnya some better options besides Naturalize or Fade in Antiquity, right? Fade into Antiquity. I think that's what the card's called. And the cards we have right now, the Destroy, Keening Apparition, you have to actually kill your 2/2. So I'm thinking War Priest of Thune would be a lot better. When War Priest of Thune enters the battlefield, it may destroy target enchantment. Do you know what I'd really like to see? Is a 3 mana cost that's like Banisher Priest. So either one, a white, and a green. When it enters the battlefield, exile target enchantment. And then if they kill it, they get it back. Or if they just plain exile the enchantment, that'd be fine with me. So an aggressive 2 or 3 drop that deals with enchantments would be awesome. Then we have, of course, there's Harmonic Sliver that could fit that role. Or something like even Kazali Pride Mage. We do have a sacrifice to destroy an enchantment, but I think if you added artifact to it, it'd be a lot better, and it had some sort of beneficial ability like Exalted or Lifelink or I don't know, anything like that. Just an aggressive little 2-drop, deals with enchantments, artifacts, is definitely needed for Selesnya. Then this set is all about where Elspeth got her spear or her sword. How come there's no good equipments yet? I think we definitely need to see some equipments. This is a lore. The lore is based upon, like, I know it's an enchantment based, but maybe an equipment enchantment. I don't know, something that really gets the feel of Theros. There's supposed to be some pretty powerful weapons here, and we have not seen them yet. Of course, one of my favorite one would be Sword of Light and Shadow type thing. I'm really all about returning creatures back to the graveyard, to the hand. I really like that, or to play. So I definitely want an aggressive, either 2 or 3 or even 1 in equipment to throw on the creature-based decks. Then we have, speaking of one of my favorite cards out of Theros, which is Fabled Hero. I would like a card that enables Fabled Hero, especially a 4-drop enchantment. I think would be just dandy. So, of course, Angelic Destiny would be awesome. It would actually end up giving the Fabled Hero +5/+5, so you'd be attacking with a 7/7 flying and double strike Fabled Hero that then you get the Angelic Destiny back if it dies, and of course you can enable it off something else, even like a Soldier of Pantheon becomes a 5-drop that is a 5 or a 6/5 flying first strike. I mean, Angelic Destiny Rancor type card would be awesome. I love for this card to be reprinted in Standard in Born of the Gods. Then we have Armored Ascension would be decent too. Kind of like this is such a devotion card, but it actually works off planes. But maybe you could actually change it to enchant creature, gets +1/+1 for each, devotion to white, and then that'd be a nice little thing you could throw on a Fabled Hero because it would get +3/+3, end up getting +4/+4 and flying. So evasion is exactly what the Fabled Hero needs, and then it could get bigger with the more devotion that you end up getting. So I'd really like to see Armored Ascension as devotion based. Now I'm throwing in Domi Raid here. What I want is a 3-drop planeswalker in either white-green or green-blue. I've got some pretty cool ideas with a green-blue planeswalker. I think a green-blue, you'd probably want some sort of creature-based or land acceleration type ability. I think its -2 would be awesome if it was Coiling Oracle. So you get to look at the top card of your library. If it's land card, put it in play. Otherwise, put that card in your hand. That'd be really, really cool. I know it would be a 3-drop draw, but a -2 on a 3/3 would be really, really cool. As it'd be pretty easy to deal with it. It'd be down to 1 power. It wouldn't protect itself. But you would get initial value out of it, and if it dies the next turn, it'd be 3 mana basically to do kind of what a Coiling Oracle does, and its +1 ability could be, you could go a number of routes with the +1 ability. What was I thinking of earlier today? And then its negative ability I thought would be maybe put in a creature for. I guess there already is a group type ability that puts in a creature for each land you control. Maybe whenever you get an emblem, whenever you cast a sorcery or instant spell, you get a creature, kind of like a Tower End emblem. And so its +1 would have to be something that maybe its +1 would be like Scry 2. I don't know, something like that that could set up the top card. I know that the negative ability would be like a Scry ability to begin with. You're looking at the top card of your library, either putting your battlefield or into your hand. That'd be great. So its +1, of course, would be pretty weak, but it would be pretty good if you could get him up to 4 and then protect him. We've already seen too many tap abilities out of blue or untap abilities, so I think that the right line of play would be maybe even we have the +1/+1 counter from a Johnny, but maybe the next time a creature deals damage or the next creature spell you play gains flash. I don't know. We'd have to figure it out what a good +1 ability for the green-blue planeswalker would be. But definitely, I think that we have room for another 3-drop planeswalker, and blue-green would be the perfect color combination. I am, again, open to a white-green planeswalker. We have yet to see it, and maybe a Johnny will fill that role, because there is hinting that a Johnny's going to come and maybe quell the uprising of the cats that are killing all the humans at the moment. Anyway, moving on. I want to see an aggressive, good blue-green drop. And a card like Cold Eye Selkie, of course I don't really want it double blue because then it would just go in a mono blue devotion deck, or double green because it would just go into a mono green devotion deck, I would love to see a green-blue evasion, Shadow Mage Infiltrator, Cold Eye Selkie type card that draws cards, gets you that tempo. This would be awesome if it was flash. You wouldn't even have to give it evasion. Just a 1/1 flash. Whenever it deals damage, you draw that many cards. I really like the way that Cold Eye Selkie is built because it really wants to be equipped with either equipment or enchanted or pumped up by some sort of tribal ability. So right now we don't really have much tribal. I don't want another Merfolk tribal. I would hate to see that. But maybe as an elemental would be cool because we do have some elemental stuff. But I'm trying to think of what other tribals we have going on at the moment. And I'm going to get to one of a tribe that I really want to see take off in here in a second. So and of course a card like Culling Oracle would be awesome. I think green-blue needs something like this. A nice either 2 or 3 drop aggressive or ramp type style, some sort of value creature to really make the archetype a threat. Then we're gonna Simic really needs some help. Simic and Izzet really needs some help right now. So anyway, let's go on to something that I feel cheated by, which is a triple green devotion card. Every other card has a triple green, and what the best one that green has is Rubble Belt Raiders, which is a 4-drop. We need a 3-drop that works perfectly with Nylea, not a 4-drop. So we need to be curving into Nylea and activating Nylea on 4th turn. And I really think that mono green would be a lot better than it is now. So of course there are some examples from the past are Leatherback Baloth. It's a 4/5 for 3, extremely powerful. Really like this card. It's not much better than like a Loxodon Smiter, so I could definitely see it feasible. Or we have Bogart Ram Gang. Of course, I love this card in a triple green. If it was haste, triple green, just a triple green haste would be awesome. And then, of course, one of my favorite cards ever printed, which is Predator Ooze, which has awesome synergy with Domri Raid. I would love to see maybe Predator Ooze reprinted or something along the lines of this triple green, either bigger than it should be, haste, or indestructible gets bigger. That'd be great. So anyway, and there's I think Ooze would fit perfectly into the lore. I think Ooze is pretty easy to put into any lore, but yeah. Anyway, let's go on to this is going to be a 2 or 1-drop Minotaur. I really think we need it. I mean, there has been a 1-drop Minotaur before, and the Rocket Disciple, of course, isn't very good. What I'd like to see is just maybe a 2/1 Minotaur for 1, or a 1/2 heroic type card as kind of like the Fabled Hoplite, but instead make it more aggressive. Maybe when it gets targeted, you get to deal damage. I don't know. Well, I mean, that kind of already exists, but I really like to see either a 1-drop Minotaur or a 2-drop Minotaur. And 2-drop Minotaurs have been printed before. Here's a 3/3 with some sort of drawback. I'm definitely okay with the drawback being a 3/3 for 2. Of course, I'd like it to be a double red if that were the case. We do need a double red devotion if we're going to go with the Minotaur archetype, because we really want the most out of Fanatic of Mogus. So 2-drop would be awesome. So 2 cards that I really like that are double red are Ember Hauler. I think this would be great for a Minotaur. This really goes... The Minotaurs in the Theros block seem like they're incredibly aggressive and don't really care about just throwing themselves out there. Like the Deathbell Raider has to attack each turn, and a card like an Amber Hauler, which could destroy itself to do damage, I think would work perfectly. I think Amber Hauler is the perfect build for a Minotaur, a 2/2 for 2 that can sacrifice itself to do 2 damage to target creature or player. Amber Hauler would also fit in this category. We'll talk about this Immortal Servitude category later, but I'd love this, or a Slith Firewalker as a Minotaur would be just dandy. I'd absolutely love this right now. A haste whenever it deals combat damage player, put a +1 counter on it. That'd be perfect for a Minotaur, as they'd have to deal with it. And then what's really cool is you could go 2, it'd become a 2/2, it'd do 1 damage, become a 2/2, and then next turn you'd be able to cast a Rageblood Shaman, and it would be it'd be a 3/3 Trampler, which on turn 3 would be a little hard to deal with, and then if it connects, even if they block it and it still connects, it still gets a +1/+1 counter. So I'm really liking that would be perfect, Wizards. Make us a 2-drop Minotaur, Slith Firewalker, Ember Hauler, Shiller would be awesome. All right, now something that I think is very, very needed in the format. It is a way to deal with Shrine. I hate Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. I absolutely hate that card. It needs an answer. I mean, it's fine to have if we have an answer for it, but right now, Encroaching Waste is not cutting it, or Bramble Crush. That's really the only options we have. Bramble Crush, Encroaching Waste, and then it's all the way up to like Sylvan Primordial by the time you can deal with that thing. I mean, there is some Destroy Land 5 mana casting. I think there might be a 4 mana casting besides Bramble Crush, but they're just absolutely terrible. So we need a viable way to deal with Shrine, and of course in the form of Goblin Rune Blaster, or maybe even a green. I think green or red would be perfect for it. And I mean, this is a nice little aggressive creature. You can the kicker, of course, would not have to be. You can make it a 4 mana, maybe like a 3/2 haster for 4 mana, destroy target, or even a 2/1 haster for 4 mana, destroy target on basic land. I'm really cool with having an answer for Shrine. It needs to be before 4th turn or have some sort of value besides just destroying it. Of course, Ghost Quarter to be my card of choice. I think with mono colors right now, it wouldn't hurt to chuck in Ghost Quarters, and you would have an answer for both Mutavault, which I think is becoming a bit of a problem, and you'd also have an answer for the Shrine of Nyx. So anyway, Tectonic Edge would be another one that I think it's perfect that it says just activate this ability. It only controls 4 or more lands. That's about the time you want to be destroying the shrine. The people can still have their god draws with the Burning Tree Emissary Shrine in the RG aggro or RG devotion type decks, and it wouldn't affect that. So I think Tectonic Edge is probably the more perfect card than Ghost Quarter for destroying a non-basic land. Of course, Fulminator Mage would be cool. Something like this to destroy a non-basic land. I'd absolutely love it. This card does need a reprint. It is getting incredibly expensive. I don't know if hybrid is going to be a thing in the format, but Fulminator Mage is around $30. It missed its reprint out of Modern Masters. It's an elemental that is a I guess tribe you'd call it. There's plenty of elementals and it kind of goes along with the forge type theme. I mean, I'm okay with making just a Fulminator type mage, take away the black and just make it double red, and because red is more of a destroy land type color than black is, and I think the sacrifice is perfect, and it would be a much needed card, I think, in standard at the moment. Now on to the list that I really want. This is kind of a twofold list. I want a 2-drop in either black or black blue or black red to really make one of these archetypes feasible. So either mono black, black blue, black red, and also works with Immortal Servitude. Jund Hackblade would be really cool and would work with the Burning Tree Emissary. But of course, just a card like it. I'm not saying Jund Hackblade itself, but I'd really like to see another haster for 2. We just need one more, and then Immortal Servitude haste is definitely an archetype that I could see going very, very far. A card that would be great for red and also work with kind of Immortal Servitude would be Heartlash Cinder. Just change that chroma to devotion, and I think that'd be perfect. It's only going to be a 3/1 on turn 2 in a red deck wins, but late game in red deck wins, this card would be insane. And again, it's an elemental. It kind of works with elemental strategy. I'd absolutely love to see a card like this reprinted. Black, mono black, aggro does need a 2-drop that is decent. Right now, that is what it's missing. It's got 2 incredibly awesome 1-drops in Tormented Hero and in Rakdos Cackler. If they were to add Nantuko Shade, I think that Nantuko Shade or a card similar to that, I think it works with the lore perfectly. I mean, Shades, that's totally a Theros, a Greek style mythology, and so you could go for they could even make it a Gorgon. I don't know, something that's more green black though. But I'm up for another green black card. I think that they do have aggressive green black 2-drops that are decent, but we definitely do need a double black. It'd work in devotion decks, and it would work in just a black aggro strategy with an Underworld Cerberus type strategy or whatnot. Then we have Bloodghast would be perfect for that as well, something along the lines of that. Again, even a 2/1 haster that's just a bit better than the Rakdos Rage Freak would be ideal. Of course, if it works with Burning Tree Emissary, more the merrier. So anything like Lightning Mauler 2 would be awesome. And then, of course, Blood Artist. I just want either a 2-drop that's incredibly aggressive or value-based like Blood Artist. Blood Artist is one of the most perfect cards. If it would black-red, and did something similar to this, I love it. And of course, for blue, I think the perfect card, and it didn't get printed in Commander, so I'm thinking we might actually see this, because apparently there is an owl that one of the gods did keep in Greek. Someone that can correct me on this, and I'm hoping it is Baleful Strix is what they're going to print to be kind of that artifact owl that becomes animated whenever they need it. I mean, I think Farika is the black-blue god. I don't know what lore that translates into for Greek mythology, but Baleful Strix would be a perfect card. It might be too powerful. It'd bring it into Modern, which might really spice things up. But I think that might not be too bad of a card, because there isn't a lot of black blue archetype in Modern. I mean, there's Jund, and I think that this would fit a nice little role for a Grixis type Jund. I mean, this is like the Grixis' Goyf, and you don't have any way to cascade into it like Legacy does, so it might not be as powerful as what Legacy Bug tries to do. Is they try to cascade into this through the 2/2. Now I'm trying to think what the 2/2 Cascader is. The 1, the green, the blue Cascader. So they cascade into Strix, and now you've got a 2/1 and a 1/1 flying Death Toucher on board. Why it's so good in Modern 2 is it trades so favorably with everything. They either have to find a removal for it, and you get to draw a card, and it can take out opposing Goyfs, can take out a lot of things. I think this card is much needed in Modern. It's much needed in Standard. Blue-black needs an aggressive card. I know Esper would probably abuse the crap out of this card, so maybe I don't want this particular card for Esper, but Esper, I think it's better for Esper to have a creature-based card rather than another efficient removal. So an inefficient removal like Baleful Strix that can be chained to the Rocked or whatnot is fine with me. That, you know, your opponents can't answer it with like a lightning strike. It isn't necessarily going to kill your creature. It is going to cantrip, but I think this would be a great card for Standard. And another one that I'd like to see is a Sacrifice Outlet. Acidic Sliver would be great. It'd work with Burning Emissary. It'd be another card that the reason I like Acidic Sliver over Chimera is you can actually do it to a creature. I think that'd be very good in a Mortal Haste type deck. Is instead of all slivers, you say creatures gain or sacrifice a creature, deals 2 damage to our creature player. I don't know. Maybe if it was just itself. I'd love to see a card that just has maybe, again, this is back to an Ember Hauler. An Ember Hauler type thing. You make it black-red. If I mean, I'm okay with this being a Minotaur being black and red as well. A 2-drop where it's black and red, because I could see the argument that a double devotion with Mogus Fanatic of Mogus might be too good. But so Acidic Sliver, Ember Hauler type hybrid would be awesome. So that'd be great if this was a Minotaur. That'd be all Minotaurs gain. Sacrifices permanent, this permanent deals 2 damage to our creature player. That'd be awesome for a Minotaur strategy. We'll see. I mean, I hope this is a good video. I'm gonna go ahead and just do a separate video for cards I don't want to see. This is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Tell me what your list is, and I don't know, I might give out a Christmas prize for anyone that has an interesting list. So big shout out to XX Amsterdam for creating this idea. I had a lot of fun doing this. Again, speculation and deck building, and I love this part of Magic, just kind of the what ifs and brewing around certain cards. And again, I'm highly looking forward to your list. So please in the comments below, put your top 10 list of cards you would like to see, or archetypes of cards you would like to see for Born of the Gods. This is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.